Hi FlossTube, I'm Sally, StitchySally here on YouTube and also over on Instagram if you would like to follow me over there. Today is Wednesday the 28th of September 2022 and this is FlossTube number 34. Very warm welcome to my channel, which is about cross stitch. I do sometimes throw in some live, but I'll do that at the end if I do, and then you can just skip it if you want to. So I have been quite busy stitching over the last couple of weeks, so I'm just going to get on and show you what I've been up to. So I'll start with my book of days for September. Cannot believe we are at the end of September, it's just crazy. So there we go. Still have 3 days left, well 3 days with today. And as you can see, I've stickered it up. And yeah, I did just got some flowers in there on the day that the Queen passed away, and then on the day of her funeral, the 19th, I have an empty chair and a bouquet of flowers. So that is for September. Really enjoying doing this as well. I'm surprised I've kept up with it, to be honest, but I have. So I'm just going to pause you for a minute. Sorry about that. I just didn't seem to have my laptop positioned properly for somehow, I do not know, it just didn't feel comfortable at all. Right, let's get on. So I have 3 finishes. I have 3 new starts, 2 new starts. So the first finish is the Scarlet House, No Place Like Home, and I stitched this with the call form. It's on the back of the chart if you can see there. Tanya gives conversions for all the fancy flosses and the MC. So I just stitched whatever I had, I used. I put the flosses away so I can't show you. So this is stitched on 40 count sand by Permin. And there we have it. I did change the colour of the house. It should have been Garden Gate, but it was very, very dark. My Garden Gate is very, very dark. So I changed it to like a bluey, can't remember the colour of it, Summer Showers I think it was. Summer Showers by Gast, I believe. So that's all done now. There should have been 22 rows of this stripy and I stopped at 20 because I couldn't be bothered to do any more. I really should have taken the advice of several people who said to me, get some black and white striped fabric. But it's done. Oops, daisy. And then my next finish is from Blackbird Designs Windsorbottom book, and it is October 31st. So that is stitched on, I don't know, it's 35-36 count vintage grey using Gast Onyx. Really, really pleased with how that's turned out. Absolutely love it. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to finish it yet. It's finished as a drum in the book. And I don't know whether I'll do that or whether I'll just pop it in a hoop, or I don't know yet. But I want to try and get it finished for Halloween if I can. I haven't got any finishing done because I've just really not been in the mood. So my next finish, which was a very small start last time I filmed, is Hands Across the Sea Samplers, Annie Bayliss 1887. I was very disappointed actually when I showed this the last time that it just didn't show the colour that I'd chosen. So that is, let me see if does that make any difference? No, it doesn't really, does it? Wheat Star Works Purple Majesty, which is not that colour at all. that just looks blue. Like a bluey purpley, and it's really not. Sure. No, that doesn't show up any better either. So this is just a piece of, I don't know what fabric it is, it's other than it's 28 count. It was in my stash and it was just it's even weave, so the other one was quite easy to do. Yeah, that's not showing very well, I'm afraid. So as you can see, I followed the chart up until more or less this point actually. This should have been a darning stitch in here, but I put my initials in. Then I moved God Save the Queen up, added E2R 1926 to 2022, which Nicola had charted for us. And then I charted May Flights of Angels Sing Thee to Thy Rest, which is a quote that King Charles used in his first public address the day after the Queen passed away, and it's from Shakespeare's Hamlet. And then I just added a little bit there because I didn't add up properly, and then I ended up with more at one end than I needed because maths was never my strong point, but basic maths I can do, believe it or not. So yeah, that is my finish of Annie Bayliss. So yeah, I did make considerable changes to it, but I know there are people out there who think any samplers should be stitched as they are, specifically, particularly reproduction samplers, but I just wanted to change it. I needed to change it so that it was a tribute piece to the Queen. And I stitched that on the day of her funeral, watched the funeral on TV. So what I'm going to do, because I know it's really not showing it up very well, and I'm just going to see whether the photograph that I took of it will show any better. I don't know. My laptop camera is a bit, so I don't know whether, I think that does actually show it a teeny weeny bit better. It seems to show the colour better. But if you want to see a better photo, just if you haven't seen it on Instagram, just go and have a look on there. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I shall see if I can get a frame for it. What else is in there? I'll leave that there because I might want that. Right, new starts now. So my first new start I did mention last time. Oh! Sorry, I'm just knocking everything. It's Prairie Schooler 2019 Santa. So I'm stitching this in all the called for DMCs, and I'm using an 18 count. I think it's just a raw 18 count, and that's where I'm at. And I don't know if you can see, I started stitching this with 2 threads, and then when I picked it up last Friday, I stitched this middle bit. I started stitching with 1 thread. So then I went back to 2, but what I shall do here is I shall just go over that with another thread just to make it right. My first thought was, nah, that's it, I'm not doing it. But then I changed my mind and I kept on with it. That's that one. And then my next new start is for the sal that I do with Lainey, the BBD sal on a Saturday night, because obviously I finished October 31st. And it's the final one that I have in the Garden Club series, and this is Sweet Home. And I am stitching it in DMCs, the conversion off the chart. It's gone very, very dull. I think it's going to rain again. And same as I've stitched the others on, it's 35 count platinum linen by Swagat. And that's what I've got done. Just, as I say, I started this on Saturday, and that's what I've got done on it. I think that's looking really pretty up to now. So I've got an idea of what I want to do with them when they're finished, but whether it will actually come off, I do not know. And then the final new start is a free design from Hands Across the Sea Samplers, and this was I think this was designed by Sandra, and it's God Save the Queen, Long Live the King. So I'm just stitching this in DMC 310 on 25 count vintage sand, and that's the start of the band. So it says God Save the Queen, and then there's a crown. I'm not going to show you it, obviously. I know it's a free design, but I'm not going to do anything with it. And then it says E2R 1926 to 2022, then another crown, Long Live the King. Oh, and then there's the top bit. And I just think that's lovely, so I had to start it. So that's the new start, final new start. And then on to my whips. I only have a page of notes. I don't know how that happened, because usually I go on to 2 pages, but I've only got a page of notes this time. So my next whip, the whip that never mind, it's a whip. It's Blackbird Designs What Remains, which I stitched on a Tuesday night with my lovely friends Barb and Mouse. We're all stitching the same. As I've said before, Barb does have a trapped nerve in her neck, but she's managing to stitch a little bit more now. She thinks it's getting a bit better. So, fingers crossed, Barb. Because I know how frustrating it must be. So, I am stitching this in nearly all the call for. I did say once before I swapped out Schneckley for, not that one, Whiskey. And really, really pleased with how this is looking. 36 count Winter Moon by Swagat. So I've added a little bit more border at this side, finished the flower, started on the plant pot, stitched the words, and this little flower here. Can we have that as a screenshot, please, YouTube? So, yep, that's that one. What else have I got in there? Nothing. I often have a few different projects in one bag. But not in that one. Right, next one is, and I don't know whether I'm pronouncing this right or not, it's Samhain Dreams, it's probably not right, by Blackbird Designs, from the fall 2022 issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And I'm stitching this on the called for fabric, which is Sparkle Grey Silver 32 count Belfast linen. And I'm using all the called for threads apart from the Chronic. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, I don't have the Chronic and I'm not buying the Chronic. So I had picked out a DMC for it, but I didn't like it, to be honest. It didn't look quite right, so I've ended up, I had some of this in, this in my stash. It's Rainbow Gallery Treasure Braid and it's PB10, so I'm just going to try using that, see what that looks like. So I'm hoping that I might just get that finished tonight. I think Wednesdays are probably going to be my Barbara Anna night for the foreseeable future. And then my next whip is Bent Creek, Look for the Beauty. Really enjoying stitching this one. It's really, really nice to stitch. And I'm using the DMC conversion. I did swap out one of the greens because I just felt it was a little bit too dark. But as I've said before, this picture is very, very light on the front. And I'm stitching this on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. And that's where I'm up to. So not too much more to do, really. It's got some leaves to fill in, and I think there's a star and a heart and a few small stars as well. So, but that is a really, really pretty stitch. It's just so beautiful. That one, and I think I'm on to my final whip. Yes, I am. And it is Modern Folk Embroidery Move Forward in Love, which is the Pride Sell for 2022. And I am stitching the monochrome version, but in a variegated thread. Where's my thread gone? So I'm using DMC Colorist 4511, which doesn't show up very well. And I'm stitching this on 25 count Vintage Sand. Yes, Vintage Sand, 1/1. So not far off now. I do still have the birds to add, but I haven't decided what colour I'm going to do the birds yet. I might just do them all in black as a contrast. But I'm really enjoying this. In fact, right now I'm enjoying everything that I'm stitching. There is usually one that I don't particularly like. But yeah. So we'll see how that goes this week. Might be another Thursday night stitching yet, maybe a couple. Right, so plans, I think probably until Dawn and I start our sal of Erica Michael's Stitch All the Things. We're going to stitch the pillow. I think until we start this, I'm not going to start anything new on a Monday. I'm just going to keep going, you know, just pick up whatever I fancy stitching. So we're going to be starting this on the 10th of October. And then I think we're going to stitch it on a Monday, every Monday after that until it's finished. I know Elaine Aliwelly Stitcher is joining us, as is Amy J Creations, and possibly Lisa S Stitches. I'm going to forget somebody. Barb, my friend Barb, she's hoping to join us as well. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody. I think that was it. Yes, that was it. So I'm really looking forward to that. It'll be the first stitch along that Dawn and I have done. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And I have sort of very, very loosely, and these are not going to show, I know they're not going to show. My usual mess of threads. So yeah, those are purpley, believe it or not. And that's the Purple Majesty. So I'm probably going to use that as well, because I bought a lot of skeins because I wasn't sure what I'd need. So yeah, that's and I've just picked out, it's just a cream piece of 28 count. So excuse me, to stitch it on. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that done. And then I just have one piece of haul, because Barbara Anna released a new sal, and I decided I wasn't going to get it until I'd seen the first part. So I saw the first part and thought, yeah, don't ask me when I'm going to start it, it could just sit in my stash. But so it's the Bonkers Sal, which is Alice in Wonderland inspired. So I'll pick that up. I would quite like to start it when I've finished Samhain Dreams, but I've got others as well that I would quite like to start. I can't keep up. I cannot keep up with Barbara Anna, seriously. But anyway. Right, so as I said last time, sorry, I'm just going to move that over there because otherwise I'll get it underneath this piece of card and it'll disappear. I won a prize package for taking part in Cross Stitch Camp, the August Cross Stitch Camp. And it arrived on Monday, and I'm really excited. It's a sorry, excuse me, I'm gonna have to get a drink. It's a lovely package. There was one that I'd already stitched, so I just said to Sherry, would she like to keep it for another prize package? So that's what she's done. So I'll show you what was in the package. So there is Hello from Liz Matthews, Quack Pumpkins, which I know Amanda Alba Stitcher was stitching, but I don't think she was happy with the colours. So I should probably stitch it in DMC when I do when I do stitch it. And then Carriage House Samplings Quaker Stockings. And these have all kind of been donated by people. And I really like that, actually. I don't know whether I'd do the blue stocking or the brown stocking, but anyway, I might even do a completely different colour. And then there is the Little Peacock by Creative Concepts. That's that one. And this is the only one that I don't think I'll stitch. It's not really something that I would stitch, but I think I might know somebody who might stitch it, so I'll have to get in touch with them and see whether they would like it. And then Hands-on Design Pumpkin Spice Farm. I really like that one. They want to stitch now, really, wouldn't it? But I just don't know that I've got time to do it. And then Country Cottage Needleworks Autumn from the seasonal celebrations. And I'm kind of thinking I need to get the others. But I'm not going to, not yet. And then there is Laurie Holt Have Been My Bonnet, Welcoming and Cheerful from the Prim Stitch series. And you may remember that I did Pleasant and Gentle a while ago. I had a sheep on it. And then finally, this beauty. Hands Across the Sea Samplers, Memories of the Past. It's a biggie. But I am now thinking that this might be my stitch for next year, up to my 60th birthday. In DMC, because there's no way that I can get all the silks. So yeah, that is just so beautiful. The colours are not showing up, obviously, because my camera's rubbish. But yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. There's no over one on it, no speciality stitches, so I may well do it over one on 25 count to make it smaller. But I'm going to just see how I feel when it comes to it. So that is my prize package from Colorado Cross Stitcher. And yeah, thank you so much, Sherry, and thank you to everybody who has donated prizes as well. That really cheered me up when it came through the door on Monday. So yeah, thank you. Right, could just move on to I thought I got my blouse, my shirt. Done it wrong, but I haven't. One of those days. Yeah, just a little bit of life, just what's been going on. My husband was on holiday last week, but unfortunately things didn't go to plan. We were planning to have a day out, but it didn't happen, unfortunately. We had a new hall stairs and landing carpet fitted on Wednesday. We've been going to do it for probably 3-4 years and just never got round to it, and obviously with COVID and everything and shops being shut, lockdowns and everything. The carpet that we had down was down when we moved when we bought the house, so that's 30 odd years ago. It was an Axminster carpet, which is quite expensive, And when the man came to measure up, he did say, "Oh, I bet you've had this down a long time." And he said it would cost about £100 a metre. Now, needless to say, the carpet that's down did not cost anywhere near that. But it's nice to have. I mean, it was starting to wear in places, so it's nice to get a new carpet down, and it's nice. It feels really, really nice under your feet. So that took half a day for the carpet fitters to do, and then on a week last Saturday, I was cooking tea, and all of a sudden, oh, there's a power cut. No, wait a minute, there isn't a power cut because that socket's still working. And what I didn't realise at the time was that the heating element had gone on my oven and tripped one side of the fuse box, because I was just about at the end of the cooking time, so never thought anything of it. Came to put the oven on Sunday, and I'm thinking there's something wrong here. We've got a smart meter for the electric, so we have a monitor. We can see, we can see when something's being used, and it wasn't registering on the monitor. Oh, great. Put the hand in, cold. Thankfully, we've got insurance on it, because obviously an oven is quite an expensive thing. Luckily, I have a small top oven. It's a double oven that I've got, so I've got a small top oven, which is also a grill. So I've been able to cook one-pot meals when I've needed to, because I've meal planned, so I'd already planned out and got what I needed for the week. So an engineer came out to that last Thursday, but he needed to order the part. And then another engineer came yesterday and fixed it. So, and of course, with the cost of living crisis that we've got at the moment, I am tending to try and use just my top oven anyway, because it's smaller. But if I need to do more than one thing, then I have to use my main oven. And then my husband got a call from somebody to do with the kitchen, which you may remember I talked about last time. And thankfully, they say we've got a valid claim. So they're going to send a structural engineer out to have a look at it. The gentleman that my husband spoke to, he seemed to think it could be to do with a tree in our next door neighbour's garden. But we're not so sure, because there's no damage to anything else. The shed's fine. We have a brick shed built on to, well, should I say it's part of the house. It's on, it's not something that we've built on. It was built with the house, and that's fine. So I don't really know. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. And then my husband's auntie got taken into hospital nearly 2 weeks ago. So she's not very happy. She's not very happy that she's still there. It's just the paramedics were a little bit concerned about her, and it just turned out she had a slight chest infection. But I think they're looking at possibly not letting her home until they've got something in place, carers in place. We've been wanting to have carers for quite a while, but she just kept saying no, it costs too much money, and I can manage. But yeah, so she's still in at the moment. Still moaning. So yeah, she can't be too bad, can she, if she's still moaning. So yeah, that's everything. So I will hopefully see you in a couple of weeks. I hope this video has been okay and that you can hear me okay and all that stuff. I'd just like to say thank you to the new subscribers that I've had. I've had a few. I think I'm up to about 830 now. it's a slow process, but sometimes I do I'm not bothered about getting to 1,000, then other times I think it would be quite nice just to get there, just to say that I've got there. But I'm just happy that I have my regulars that come to watch, and I get some lovely comments, which are always very, very welcome. And it's really nice if you could please hit the thumbs up when you've watched me as well. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in a couple of weeks' time, hopefully. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Bye.